Often people that are new to the Arduino or to electronics ask me what are the very basic tools they need in order to get started. And by then they don't really mean tools that they allow them to do everything, but to play around with Arduino kits, for example, and put together the first Arduino experiments, things of that kind. Of course, I've got a whole other course that explains how to equip your electronics workbench, and I go into a lot of details about the different kinds of tools that you can have on or around your workbench. But for somebody that is starting right now, and this is the first entry into the world of the Arduino and electronics, this is really all that you need. These tools will get you very far. I'll start from the left. Screwdrivers. You need a small set of precision screwdrivers. The reason for that is that a lot of the components that you'll be working with, for example, like this potentiometer or this sound sensor, I've got lectures for these things coming up later on in this course. They have little components. They've got little things in the on them that allow you to calibrate them in some way. So for example, this sound sensor, I'll just bring it a bit closer to the camera, you can see that it has a tiny potentiometer here. And by using a precision screwdriver, you are able to change the sensitivity of this microphone. Similarly with this potentiometer, you can see that it's got a provision for a flathead screwdriver. So to change the setting of the potentiometer, you would need a screwdriver with a flat head like that. This would allow you to turn the knob. Even this one here, this is an infrared motion detector. It's a sensor. So you can see that it's got more potentiometers that allow you to calibrate various settings on this sensor. And again, for this particular sensor, I've got a lecture coming up later in this course. So for things like that, a precision set of screwdrivers is absolutely necessary, and you don't need anything fancier than what I'm showing you here. Like later on, for example, you can go for something like this that allows you to use all of the different types and sizes of tips that you get with your 6-piece set, plus a lot more types, and even with a flexible neck if you need to reach hard to get to places, or this one also has an extension. But something like this is really not necessary, and I really doubt that anyone beginning with the Arduino now will ever need to get to that level. Another set of tools that I believe is necessary is a bunch of tweezers. And again, tweezers come in a variety of types, shapes and types. And these are some of the tweezers that I have. Now, tweezers are really good if you need to manipulate small things. So for example, let's say that I'm working on a breadboard here, and I've got a little resistor and a few flat straight jumper wires. And I can use my big thumbs and fat fingers to try and get the parts in the right place on the breadboard. And perhaps you can do that if you've got small fingers, but for me it seems to be a lot easier to just use tweezers. So I can use a tweezer like this to pick up a part from a box and just easily insert it onto the breadboard. There you go. Done. And you can do the same thing with any other component pretty much. It's just making it so much easier and clean to use tweezers to do the job. Tweezers come, again, as I said, in different shapes. So I use the one with the rounded end quite a lot when I work with breadboards, but there's also straight tweezers, different kinds. These to actually look like this. No, there's not the same. It's just different size of the tip, and one with flatter, rounded head as well. You could use pretty much any tweezer you like if you are working with parts like this that are not active. If you start working with microchips, for example, if you want to manipulate a chip to put it on a breadboard or on a PCB, then the nice thing about this particular set of tweezers that I've got is that they are ESD, electrostatic or anti-static tweezers, so they don't accumulate electrical charge on them, which means that you can protect the parts that you're working on from static electricity and you don't zap them. So if you don't have any tweezers lying around, then go on eBay and look for something like this, or electrostatic tweezers that are made specifically for work with microelectronics and sensitive electronics. So that's a few things about tweezers. And finally, of course, you can't really do much without a set of wire cutters. With wire cutters, you can do, obviously, cutting of wires, very easy. And you will also need to do things like trim pins of parts like resistors and transistors. Absolutely necessary, since those things come with very long pins. You can also use them to trim pins of soldering work. So for example, let's say that you have just finished soldering a new part, a new breakout, and you want to trim it. So you can see, for example, in this case, the solder is forming a slightly pointy end, and I'd like to trim it so that it's at the same level as the rest, so it doesn't get caught, like it doesn't get caught in anything. So I will just use my wire cutter and trim the top so that it's not as pointy anymore. Okay, all done. So a set of wire cutters like this, absolutely essential. And that's about it. Really, you don't need that many tools. You need a couple of tweezers, perhaps one with a bent tip, one with a straight tip, either flat or pointy, like this one, just for precision manipulation of parts. Your cutters, and a small set of precision screwdrivers. And that's about it. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to learn more, check out my Arduino Step-by-Step Getting Started and Arduino Step-by-Step Getting Serious courses on the Tech Explorations School. There, I help you develop basic and more advanced Arduino skills, including how to write your own programs, how to use all sorts of sensors and actuators, and how to create your own gadgets. You may also be interested in my project courses, where you get deep into the development of wheeled robots, remote-controlled cars, and drones. Please use the coupon code in the description below this video to get a YouTube exclusive discount to my courses. See you there.